I came to England with my siblings and my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, in 1955. My mother was already living here. My parents got divorced, and that's a whole history of all that. But my mother was a musician, a leader singer, and she came here to study voice, and she got custody of the children. So we arrived, I think I was 11 or 12, and we traveled on a boat called the Queen of the Pacific, and it went around different islands. So when we first were told we were coming here, we didn't know why or how. We just thought we were coming on a holiday, because we went to Cuba, the Bahamas, Bermuda, and we stopped off in these places. And we arrived at Plymouth. We hadn't seen my mother for about 3 or 4 years, so she was a stranger. I was about 11 at that stage, and I had a brother who was 9 and one was about 8. I mean, we came bang, bang, bang in those days. And it was a great afternoon. I remember coming through the countryside, and it looked very pretty and beautiful, and it was green, and we arrived at Paddington Station. It was black. It was dark. It was really horrible, actually. I've never seen such, coming from blue skies and green, and as anybody, we've all travelled now, so we have an idea of what it is. But in those days, I really had no idea. And Paddington Station was just so dirty and black and damp and dank. I have never forgotten it. It's lived with me. Paddington Station is now a beautiful station, actually. It's quite, but and that was my first landing in London, really. And I presume that was part of Westminster. I don't know how long the council, I don't know how it was divided up, so I presume it was still Westminster. So that's where I landed first. We went to live very quickly in near Kilburn in 2 rooms. I said this in the film, so I'm repeating myself. But that was quite tragic. My 3 brothers, we slept on one, like a pull it up, pull it down, you know, those things. Every day we had to put up the bed and put our clothes away and stuff. And my mother and grandmother slept in this sitting room with a small kitchen, and we had to go downstairs to go to the lavatory. And that was another shock because it was so cold. I can't remember cold like that. And we were young, so it was quite brutal. And we didn't have a lot of money because I'm not sure what settlement was made, but we certainly, the land that I moved from to London was totally different. That's it. I mustn't swear. and then we went to I went to a local school near Kilburn, and then we moved to Palmer's Green. My mum bought a house there, and we all lived there. It was much better, and it was greener. And I then travelled in every day to Haverstock Comprehensive School, and one of my brothers went to grammar school, the other one went to law school. I managed to get the comprehensive, but I had a great time there living, and I liked it. And I became quite. I had a lot of trouble. I can't remember having too much problems about my colour or anything. People used to say, "Did it come off?" and all of that. But I think it was quite innocent. We were young, and nobody knew. I hadn't seen that many white people. In Jamaica, actually, there were a lot of white people, but we were used to them. But over here, certainly in the 50s, going to school, nobody had seen the likes of me. And there weren't, I think there were about 3 black people or dark people in school at that time. So it was quite a shock. And then, I'm trying to just do this all quickly, and then I realized that I quite liked what my mum was doing, which was being on stage. So I decided I was going to be an actor. She hated this idea completely, because she said I should get a profession first. And I said, well, what sort of profession? And she said, maybe a lawyer or an accountant. Well, I can't count. So anyway, it's what I think most parents do for their children. I mean, they try and just get them out of this thing. I decided to be an actor. I went to see an agent that she recommended, and the agent suggested I go to drama school. And I said I wasn't going to drama school because I could act. And that was it. I could act, and I wasn't going nowhere in drama school. And looking back now, I advise all my friends and my children's friends, all my friends' children, I advise them I could go to drama school. There's a lot to learn, and you can learn. I was very, very lucky with the arrogance of youth. I got into a show. I auditioned 9 times for a show from America at the Shaftesbury Theatre, and the show was called Hair. And I don't know, some of you might remember it, some of you might be much too young to remember it, but it's historic. I mean, Hair happened over 50 years ago. It opened in London in 1968, and I was one of the naked children. Because we were all young and hippies and all the fuzzy hair and, you know, the long hair. And after that, that's how my career started. And I was very glad to take part, and I was very honoured. And thank you for asking me to be here this evening. I am very honoured to be here. To take part in this Windrush experience, which I just think is a great experience. The brief I was asked was to say, what can Westminster do? What else can Westminster do to progress the Windrush celebration or situation on? Because Windrush should be a celebration of what happened in the past, in my opinion, but it also has to look to the future and what we can do to make it better. Maybe Westminster, if I dare say this, can possibly, next year I understand is 75 years of the Windrush movement. And I think what Westminster could possibly do, it only came to me at supper, so I didn't come with any idea of what I was going to say, and I'm glad I didn't. Maybe the Tate Gallery next year for a Windrush celebration and a film celebration and a huge event that Westminster might be able to put on. But that's just by the way. I'm just going to finish this up because it must be 5 minutes. I'm just singing a song for you. Day-o, Mr. Day-o. Daylight come and me want go home. Daylight come and me want go home. Come, Mr. Tally man, don't carry me banana. Daylight come and me want go home. Me come here fi fuck, me not come here fi idle. Daylight come and me want go home. 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 Daylight come and me want go home.